listen to me closely. If loving someone costs you your peace, your voice, or your sense of worth, that is not love. That is survival. And today, I'm going to give you 7 boundaries every woman must set in a relationship if she wants real intimacy, not emotional exhaustion. Here's the first one, and it is non-negotiable. You must set a boundary around emotional safety. I need you to hear this with your whole body. Love cannot exist where you are afraid to speak your truth. Love cannot grow where your feelings are mocked, minimized, or used against you later in an argument like a weapon. If you are walking on eggshells, carefully editing your words, shrinking your emotions so you don't cause a problem, you are not in a partnership, you are in a hostage negotiation. Emotional safety means you are allowed to say, that hurt me, without being punished for it. It means your tears are met with concern, not contempt. It means your fears are held with care, not turned into jokes or ammunition. And here's the hard truth. The way someone responds to your vulnerability tells you everything about their capacity to love you. If they get defensive every time you express pain, if they tell you you're too sensitive, if they flip the story so they become the victim and you become the problem, that is not a communication issue. That is a boundary issue. Your boundary sounds like this. I will not stay in conversations where my feelings are dismissed, mocked, or used against me. I deserve emotional safety. Say it out loud, even if your voice shakes, because the bravest thing a woman can do is stop negotiating her worth just to keep a relationship alive. And this is only the first boundary. Let me tell you something that may sting a little, but it will also set you free. How someone treats your time is how they truly feel about your worth. Your second non-negotiable boundary is this respect for your time and your energy. If a person consistently shows up late, cancels plans without care, leaves you waiting for replies for days, or only reaches out when it's convenient for them, they are teaching you that your life, your schedule, and your emotional investment don't matter as much as theirs. And here's the part most women are taught to ignore. Every time you over-explain your availability, every time you rearrange your life to accommodate their inconsistency, every time you accept breadcrumbs instead of commitment, you are silently telling them, it's okay to waste me. That's not kindness. That's self-betrayal. A healthy relationship does not require you to beg for basic consideration. You should not have to chase clarity. You should not have to compete with distractions, addictions, or other people for a place in someone's life. Your boundary sounds like this. I expect consistency, clear communication, and mutual effort. I will not keep investing in someone who treats my time like it's optional. And then this is the part that takes courage. You must follow through, because boundaries without consequences are just emotional suggestions. If they keep disappearing, if they keep making promises they don't keep, if they keep showing you that you are not a priority, you do not argue your way into being valued, you walk away, not in anger, not in revenge, but in self-respect, because a woman who honors her own time teaches others how to honor her too. And that boundary alone will change the entire quality of your relationships. And we're just getting started. Let me be very clear with you, because this one destroys women slowly from the inside. The third boundary every woman must set is this zero tolerance for disrespect and contempt. Not just screaming, not just insults. I'm talking about the eye rolls, the sarcastic tone, the jokes at your expense, the subtle put downs disguised as just teasing, the way your opinions are dismissed, the way your intelligence, your body, your dreams are minimized. Contempt is emotional poison. And the body always keeps the score. Every time someone speaks to you like you are stupid, dramatic, needy, or replaceable, something inside you tightens. Something inside you goes quiet. Something inside you starts believing you deserve less. And that's how strong women become small inside relationships. Love without respect is not love. It's domination with affection sprinkled on top. Here's the truth nobody likes to say out loud. How someone talks to you when they are frustrated tells you everything about who they really are. Anyone can be kind when things are easy, Character shows up when they're angry, tired, stressed, or not getting their way. Your boundary sounds like this. I will not stay in a relationship where I am spoken to with disrespect, sarcasm, or contempt. If you're angry, we can talk. If you're cruel, I will leave. And then you have to mean it, because the first time you let contempt slide, you teach them it's allowed. The second time, you normalize it. The third time, you start blaming yourself for it. No one who truly loves you enjoys making you feel small. So if someone keeps crossing this line after you've named it clearly, don't ask for better behavior. Choose better company. Because a woman who protects her dignity protects her soul. And the next boundary, it's about your body, your no, and your right to autonomy. Listen to me with your whole heart now. The fourth boundary is this: your body is yours. Your no is sacred, and your consent is not negotiable. You do not owe anyone access to your body because you love them. You do not owe anyone sex because you're in a relationship. You do not owe anyone physical closeness because they're in a bad mood, insecure, or afraid you'll leave. Love is not proven through self-betrayal. If someone pressures you, folks, when you say no, accuses you of not loving them enough, threatens to leave unless you give in, that is not desire. That is coercion. And coercion wrapped in romance is still violence to the soul. Your body is not a peace offering. Your body is not a bargaining chip. Your body is not rent you pay to keep a relationship alive. Real intimacy grows where there's safety, patience, and deep respect for boundaries. Your boundary sounds like this: I decide what happens to my body. I do not explain, justify, or apologize for my no. If my boundaries are not respected, I will remove myself from this relationship. And here's the part that breaks my heart for so many women. You were taught to be nice instead of being safe. You were taught to be agreeable instead of being sovereign. You were taught that your discomfort matters less than someone else's desire. That teaching ends here. Anyone who truly loves you will never want your body at the cost of your dignity. Never. And if someone gets angry when you say no, believe them. They are showing you exactly who they are. The next boundary goes even deeper into your emotional labor, your fixing, and your right to not carry someone else's brokenness. This one will shake something loose in you, and it needs to. The fifth boundary is this: you are not responsible for fixing a grown man. You are not his emotional rehab center. You are not his life coach. You are not his unpaid therapist. You are not his mother. And you are absolutely not his savior. Let me say this gently, but firmly: love does not require you to carry someone else's unhealed wounds on your back. If you are constantly regulating his emotions, tiptoeing around his moods, explaining basic empathy to him, absorbing his anger, his addictions, his depression, his chaos, you are not in a relationship. You are in an emotional labor camp. And here's the hard truth most women resist: your love cannot heal someone who refuses to take responsibility for their own healing. You can support someone who is doing the work. You cannot rescue someone who is committed to staying broken. Every time you stay because he had a hard childhood, every time you excuse cruelty because he's just traumatized, every time you shrink your needs because who's trying, you are teaching him that your compassion has no limits and no consequences. Your boundary sounds like this: I will not stay in a relationship where I am expected to fix, manage, or carry someone else's emotional health. I need a partner, not a project. And then you have to let him sit in the discomfort of his own life. That's not abandonment. That's accountability. Because real love says, I believe you are capable of doing your own work. And if he is not willing to grow, seek help, change his behavior, and take ownership of his patterns, then your staying is not loyalty, it's self-abandonment. And the next boundary will challenge the way you've been taught to be low maintenance and easy to love. I want you to listen to this like it's medicine. The sixth boundary is this: your needs are valid, and you do not apologize for having them. You were not born too much. You were not designed to be silent, small, or endlessly self-sacrificing. But somewhere along the way, many women learned a devastating lie. If I need less, I'll be loved more. So you stop asking for reassurance. You stop asking for consistency. You stop asking for affection, effort, emotional presence. You become the cool girl, the low maintenance woman, the one who never complains, and inside you are starving. Here's the truther's relationship where your needs are treated as an inconvenience is not a loving relationship. It is a convenience-based arrangement. If someone rolls their eyes when you express a need, if they call you needy, clingy, dramatic, or demanding, if they tell you, this is just how I am, take it or leave it, they are telling you they do not intend to meet you in the middle. Your boundary sounds like this: I am allowed to have needs for affection, communication, consistency, and emotional presence. I will not stay where my needs are repeatedly dismissed or mocked. And then comes the part that feels terrifying. You let them leave if they don't want to meet those needs, because compatibility is not about how much pain you can tolerate. It's about how much mutual care you can create. Someone who truly loves you will not be threatened by your needs. They will be curious about them. They will try to meet them. They will care when they fall short. You are not asking for too much. You are asking the wrong person. And the next boundary is about loyalty, honesty, and your right to trust what your gut already knows. This one is going to hit your nervous system because it exposes every place you've been gaslit into doubting yourself. The seventh boundary is this: you do not stay where honesty is optional and loyalty is blurry. You are not crazy for wanting transparency. You are not insecure for wanting faithfulness. You are not controlling for wanting the truth. Trust is not built on promises. It is built on patterns. If someone lies to avoid conflict, hides things to protect your feelings, deletes messages, keeps secret friendships, flirts with other women, and calls it harmlessy, that is not privacy. That is deception with better branding. And here's the brutal truth most women don't want to face. If someone wanted to protect your heart, they would not do things that require hiding. Your gut knows when something is off. Your body tightens. Your sleep changes. Your anxiety spikes. That is not insecurity. That is your intuition begging you to pay attention. Your boundary sounds like this: I require honesty, transparency, and loyalty. I will not stay in a relationship where I have to become a detective to feel safe. And then you stop arguing with your instincts. Because every time you accept half-truths, every time you forgive betrayal without changed behavior, every time you ignore red flags because you love their potential, you are teaching your nervous system to live in danger. Love is not supposed to feel like constant vigilance. Love is supposed to feel like exhale, and if someone calls you crazy for asking for honesty, that's not a misunderstanding. That's manipulation. You are allowed to require integrity. And now, the next boundary is about your identity, your dreams, and your right to not disappear inside a relationship. This one is quiet. And it's the one that breaks women the deepest. The eighth boundary is this: you do not erase yourself to be loved. You do not give up your dreams, your friends, your voice, your values, your calling, just to keep someone comfortable. If a relationship requires you to become smaller, quieter, softer, less ambitious, less expressive, less you, that is not love. That is containment. Love is not supposed to shrink your world. It is supposed to expand it. If someone is threatened by your success, annoyed by your joy, jealous of your friendships, dismissive of your dreams, they are not loving you. They are competing with you. And the tragedy is this: so many women slowly disappear inside relationships and call it compromise. You stop wearing what you love. You stop laughing so loud. You stop talking about your goals. You stop going out with your friends. You stop trusting your own instincts. And one day you wake up and realize you are a ghost in your own life. Your boundary sounds like this: I will not abandon my identity, my dreams, or my values to stay in a relationship. I deserve a partner who celebrates who I am becoming, not someone who needs me to stay small. And then you choose yourself, even if your voice shakes, because the right partner does not compete with your light. They stand beside it, they protect it, they are proud of it. Any relationship that requires yourself Betrayal is too expensive. And now, the next boundary is about conflict, accountability, and what real repair actually looks like. This one separates real love from emotional chaos. The ninth boundary is this: conflict must come with accountability and repair. Every couple fights. Every relationship hits rough terrain. But here's what is not normal, not healthy, and not love. Endless arguments with no change. Apologies with no behavior shift. Blame with no ownership. Silence with no repair. If every conflict ends with you crying, apologizing, over-explaining, and carrying all the emotional weight, something is deeply wrong. Love is not proven by how intense your arguments are. It is proven by how responsibly they are handled. If someone hurts you and says, "I'm sorry you feel that way. I didn't mean it like that. You're too sensitive. Why are you still stuck on this?" That is not accountability. That is avoidance dressed up as maturity. Real repair sounds like, "I see how I hurt you. I understand why that affected you. I'm committed to changing this behavior. And here's what I'm doing differently." Your boundary sounds like this: "I will not stay in a relationship where conflict never leads to accountability, change, and repair. I deserve growth, not just apologies." And then you watch actions, not words. Because someone who truly loves you will be disturbed by your pain. They will not rush you to get over it. They will not minimize it. They will not punish you for bringing it up. They will lean in. They will take responsibility. They will do the work to make sure it doesn't keep happening. Anything else is just emotional recycling. Same fight, different day. And now, the final section will bring all 7 boundaries together into one powerful ending truth that will change how you choose love forever. This is the boundary underneath all the others. The 10th boundary is this: you do not stay where love requires your self-betrayal. Read that again, slowly. You do not stay where your nervous system is always on edge. You do not stay where your voice is unsafe. You do not stay where your needs are mocked. You do not stay where your boundaries are punished. You do not stay where your soul is shrinking. Because here is the truth: nobody told you growing up you can love someone deeply and still need to leave them. Love is not the measure of a healthy relationship. Safety is. Respect is. Consistency is. Accountability is. Chemistry will lie to you. Trauma bonds will lie to you. Loneliness will lie to you. But your body never lies. If you feel anxious more than you feel at peace, if you feel confused more than you feel cherished, if you feel drained more than you feel nourished, that relationship is not love. It is a lesson. Your final boundary sounds like this: I will not abandon myself to keep a relationship alive. I choose my dignity, my peace, and my wholeness, even if it means walking away from someone I love. And this is the bravest thing a woman will ever do. She stops trying to be chosen and starts choosing herself. Because the moment you stop negotiating your worth is the moment your entire love life changes. You no longer chase. You no longer beg. You no longer tolerate crumbs. You become a woman who says, "Meet me in respect," or "Don't meet me at all." And here is your ending truth: the right relationship will never ask you to bleed just to belong. The right relationship will feel like home to your nervous system. And until you find it, be that home for yourself,